Hey, welcome back to the Sunday IcePack analysis, where we are going to break down all of our different picks that we had. We're going to go over Grant Emmerich's BCDC Analyst picks, who's absolutely been on fire, and also his picks that he had at his overall picks as well. And then our machine learning straight picks and how that did, our pizza money picks, and then myself analysis wise, of 50-50 picks, or as close as possible, the closest fights that everybody was seeing as the odds were going throughout the week or a couple of weeks, but mostly try to focus on those fights that are 50-50 that people might not be sure about, and try to give them some insight on where we're leaning without using the machine learning picks. Because obviously, you might take one or two of those straight picks from the machine learning and do something else with it. But from a standpoint of us, we want to provide, non-biased opinions of the same thing over and over again, even though they are phenomenal picks. So I want to first go over my 50-50 picks. So I had the Garcia versus Ronson fight. I personally went with Ronson. The machine learning models had Garcia. I just really didn't know who to pick. And looking back at it, I should have seen that Garcia has a lot more takedown attempts. And I think individuals that try to do grappling, usually in 50-50 fights, win the fights. And so that was one. So I got that one wrong. So I would be 13-4. And then going into the next fight that I picked Clark versus Knight, which was similar to our pizza money picks, which showed, minus 150 to minus 190. Fighters are 7-3 in the last 10 fights at those odds at that weight class. So sports books usually get that pretty accurate, if not extreme edge in the last 10 fights. So I went with that pick due to that. And we ended up going 14-4 now. And we went from 10.05 units to 9.85 units. I think Ronson was minus 120 on most books. On the books that I used, he was minus 120 where I found him. And so minus 120, and the plus 100 of Clark, we would have been minus 0.2 or $20 kind of thing. So first off, my picks ended up not doing too great on just the 50-50 fights. But we are 14-4 with 9.85 units. And then I want to talk about Grant Emmerich. He was 57-29, about 67% accuracy going into tonight. And he goes 9-5, and out of 14 fights, and I'm just doing that right now, is he's 9 divided by 14. We got 64%. I mean, he's absolutely how do I say it? He just for straight picks, for somebody who's not using machine learning or something of that algorithmic piece, Grant really knows what he's talking about. I love his breakdowns. This week he couldn't, but it gave you guys your picks and went through them pretty solidly. 9-5 is fantastic work. And I think on his regular picks, I just want to go over those real quick. So parlays wise, he had closed Penny and Bueno Silva money line. So that was 1.82 4 units. And then he, and I'm just going to put this up and do this right as we speak, 1.284. And then Close and Luque didn't hit. So it ended up being a -1 there. And then Martin Boudet with a 0.909 units made. So 0.909 units made. So 1.73. And then the Bellator one, obviously, we talked about that during the weight cut. That was a tough one. So he ended up making 1.23 units on those picks. So that's still huge profit there, especially with the next couple of picks going up and having some good money as well. So the ZA picks, I went a little bit more standard here on these pizza money picks. I didn't feel seeing the historical data where there's going to be some good picks, bad picks kind of thing. So I did go with Luque by finish. I felt that if he was going to win, it would be by finish. And if he wasn't, most likely then Muhammad was going to get the takedowns. Check out our weight cut analysis there that talks about that a little bit more. So that's minus 100 there. And then we had Silva winning by decision. That was plus 120, plus 115, depending on your book. And then Garcia versus Bronson, we had that as a straight pick, and then Devin Clark versus William Knight, Devin Clark winning on straight pick. So 2 plus 100s there. If you got Garcia late and plus 120, great for you. We did not. When we posted this, he was minus 110, minus 110 pick him. So we only got 100 there, but you might have gotten 120 by not posting it like we did so early. So good for you in line grinding. If you did get plus 120 odds for Garcia, that's huge, right? That 20 bucks or 0.2 unit is huge. And I think that's a big thing in sports betting is being able to find the right price. And, you should have ownership in multiple sports books, but just to talk again, summing up the Pizza Money picks, about 3 units, 2.15 units to be exact, in positive money for those. And then our UFC Fight Night machine learning picks, there's 14 fights. We ended up predicting some of the fights that, a fighter might not have been in the UFC before. We changed it up a little bit, just providing as much detail as we possibly can. And we went 10-4. So a little bit above, 65%. And I'm sorry that I don't know that calculation off the top of my head. Sorry, guys, but about 71%. So a little bit above our typical sample size right now of 100. Our 100 bets so far this year, I think we've done about 96, and we're 63-33 right now total on the year. With these models, and so about 100 bets, and we're about 65%. And today we were a little bit above average, and last week we might not have been as averaged. So it's good to see that the consistency of the machine learning models and that's a big part. And so the profit there, if you would have bet on every single one of these 14 picks, would be 2.25 units. So that goes from 9.6 to 2.25 added, about almost, excuse me. I'm just going to do that math here too, just so while we're here, so you guys know and see me doing the math. We're back to 11.85. So $1,185 would be your profit right now if you would follow all of our picks this year and every single one that we post. I try to provide the expected value bets just so if you're, feeling comfortable about certain bets and things of that nature. But I always try to give you guys every single one of the machine learning picks, and then usually try to count every pick, whether it's expected value or not, just so you guys have a broad statement of how the machine learning picks are going. Again, over 303 in about what is that? 497. So 303 and 497, I believe it is. Let me check our Twitter where we're at. Excuse me, 304 and 304 plus 181. So 304 divided by 485 since the beginning of last year. We're at 62.68%. I think that's pretty solid, guys. 63% in straight picks. Had a normalized win percentage last year in the UFC of 54% using machine learning models. Looking to build that up and make it a little bit better. PFL's on the way on April 20th. We will be providing stats on weight classes, on prices, all different kinds of things. So we will definitely be providing those. So stay tuned, and thank you guys. And I really hope you guys enjoyed the fights, enjoyed the analysis that we provided. Really positive week, and looking for more. But again, as we all know, as bettors here and followers of the BCDC picks, wins and losses are going to come and go. It's just about the steady win constantly and consistently, or not constantly, but just consistently. So awesome, awesome guys. And, feel free to reach out if you guys want any particular breakdowns in the PFL. Just send a comment, hit a like button here for the YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching, and enjoy the fights next week. And thank you guys. Bye.